Lightning Rod is one of the most incredible rides ever built, and many people consider this the greatest wooden roller coaster of all time, while some still say it's El Toro or Voyage. I have not ridden either of those, however, I will be riding El Toro later this year, and I gotta say, I still think Lightning Rod's gonna take the cake because, oh my gosh, this is just one fantastic ride, guys. If you have not ridden Lightning Rod, which I wouldn't be surprised because over the years, well, you know. But nonetheless, this is one of the greatest roller coasters of all time. I think that is extremely hard and impossible to deny. So today I'm going to be giving you guys my opinion on the top 10 elements on Lightning Rod. You guys seem to really like that Copperhead Strike version of this, so I decided, hey, I'm going to do it again. Why not? So I'll just be doing it for Lightning Rod this time. And my thing is, I truly believe Lightning Rod has the greatest collection of elements on any roller coaster, just period. There are literally only 10 elements on this ride, 10 flat, and they are all perfect. They are so good. I prefer the worst element on Lightning Rod more than like 70% of all elements that I've experienced. I don't mean to get that technical, but it's just a fact. So let's get right on into this. So coming into the number 10 spot are going to be those double dollies, or just the double humps, you know. And I have to say, they are actually really fun. I wasn't expecting a lot out of them at all because no one talks about them. In fact, nobody talks about a lot of elements on this ride because of one specific element, and we'll get to that later. However, these are actually two really fun pops of airtime. If you're in the front, it is definitely some ejector. If you're in the back, it's more flow ejector, but it feels like you get whipped over harder. It's really confusing how it works. However, it is just such a fun moment. Very cool. Number 9 is going to be that first launch, and this is that famous launch that gained the title, the only launched wooden roller coaster on Earth, and Lightning Rod absolutely killed it. It is only about 45 miles per hour, however, it is so much fun. The reason I prefer it over both of Copperhead Strike's launches, yes, I prefer this over both of those, is because it's inclined, and so the positives feel really weird, but it is so much fun. And when you're on the front of that train, oh my gosh, you feel so close to the track, and I imagine it's 10 times better with that Zero car, so I can't wait to ride this again because that launch is a lot of fun. It's definitely nothing insane, but it's really cool. Number 8 is going to be that first drop, and I think this is a really underrated moment. I don't think a lot of people talk about this drop enough. It is just a really fun part of the ride. You definitely get some ejector. In the front row, you kind of float and then just pop out of your seat on the way down, but in the very back, oh my gosh, you get whipped straight over this drop. It is one of my favorite drops, I'm telling you. I actually like it more than Twisted Timbers drop a little bit because it is just so much fun. The airtime is really strong. It's about 165 feet, I believe, or somewhere around there. And a fun fact, I think most of you guys know this, but if you don't, Lightning Rod is actually around 200 feet tall. We don't know the exact height of it, but the actual drop, because of the terrain, is only about 165. So it is a really good drop, and it's just a lot of fun. Number 7 is going to be that half loop and the airtime that comes with it. Yes, there's airtime on this half loop and it is great. When you're going through that half loop, the positives are just so much fun. It is really forceful, actually. It's not exactly intense, but you know, that kind of G-force feeling like Fury does. It's really, really fun. And it just feels so fast. If you're in that front row, you just trailblaze straight up. And then boom, the finale, you pop right out of your seat with one final ejector pop. The 12th moment of airtime on the ride, actually, it is so good. This half loop was a lot of fun. It was way better than I was expecting. And I just really think it's one of those elements that people don't talk about enough on Lightning Rod. Number 6 is going to be that airtime hill right before the quad down. This moment was probably the most shocking part of Lightning Rod for me. I was expecting literally nothing. I don't mean like literally nothing as in no airtime at all, like just staying in your seat. I was just not expecting it to be this good. The airtime was really strong here, guys. I'm warning you, this is a really good moment of airtime. Definitely one of the better airtime moments on the ride. It is so good. The ejector is great. You actually sustained for a good second or two. And it's really, really weird how it works. I just was not expecting that much at all. But of course, let's move into the top 5 with the number 5 spot being that first twist and shout element. You are just hanging there. It's kind of like a wave turn, but really not at the same time. Think of Wildfire's wave turn, but it's a little smaller. In fact, really smaller. It's really fun, and it whips you straight into it, and it whips you straight out of it if you're in the back row. And it's just such a cool feeling. I love this part of the ride. Number 4 is going to be that airtime hill right before the half loop. Holy crap, was not expecting a lot out of this. Very, very strong element. This is one of my favorite parts of the ride, easily. Such an underrated part. You see, this is what I love about Lightning Rod. It is so good. And people talk about the best elements on the ride so much that they forget and just don't talk about the really underrated parts of the ride. Like, that's how good this moment of airtime was. It is so strong. You're just going so fast through it. I can't even explain how good it was, and I can't wait to go through that element again when I ride this coaster. Into the top three. Number three should be no surprise. It is that giant wave turn. You just kind of come out a little bit. You're completely off axis. It is so much fun. This was my first major wave turn, and easily the biggest, of course. It was just, wow. I was shocked by how good that was. It was such a fun moment because the airtime, not only was it ejector and it was really sustained, but you're just completely sideways and you look downwards and it's just endless. It is so cool. Really, really fun. And overall, this element is just fantastic. Number two, here we go. The number two element. This is where things are about to get a little bit feisty with you guys. I understand what is about to happen. I realize that. I know a lot of you guys are not going to be happy with this, and I understand that. I truly believe that you guys are going to absolutely slaughter me, and I am ready for it. Number two is the quad down. Now, the quad down is absolutely one of the greatest elements on any coaster, period. That's just completely obvious. It's probably a top 5 element in the world if I'd have to take a guess, but it's just, I really don't know. It's not my personal favorite part of this ride. Now, objectively, yes, this is the best part of the ride, but it wasn't quite my favorite, not quite. The airtime is fantastic. It's just pop after pop after pop after pop, and they do get stronger as it goes on. That is true. People don't lie about that. And the last one, that is pretty weird element. It's kind of an off-axis moment. But the thing is, I think people hyped this part of the ride up so much for me over the past 2 years, and I had been waiting and waiting and waiting to finally experience that quad down, and I wasn't overrating it for myself, so you can't blame me there. I don't even blame you guys. It's just that, I don't know, I really heard a lot of great things about this element and that it was the best thing ever. I just wasn't quite as impressed as some of you guys. I absolutely loved it. It is one of my favorite elements, easily a top 3 or 4 element for me, but it was just not as good as I thought. I really can't say why. I don't understand why, but they were definitely amazing. The airtime pops were fantastic, and it was just such a great part of the ride going down that hill. So what could be number one? After you put down your pitchforks, you're probably wondering, what is your number one then? There just can't be anything better than the quad down, right? Well, in my case, there is something better than the quad down, and it's not by a lot. This is easily swappable with the quad down. I like them both about as equally. It is that second twist and shout. You know, that off-axis airtime moment where you are just sustained and blazing through it. Oh my gosh, this might just be my favorite element of all time, or at least favorite airtime element. You are off-axis, you are blazing through it, and that is why I'm just so excited for Steel Vengeance off-axis airtime moment. That giant outer bank looks insane, and I hear it is a little bit better than this, so I'm really looking forward to that. This moment of airtime in this element in general is just absolutely crazy. It's an incredible part of the ride, and they just absolutely killed it. I was so surprised by how good this was. And yeah, if this wasn't there, the quad down would easily be the best part of the ride for me, but not quite. I just really like this part. I can't really explain why. I don't know why, but it was definitely a very, very awesome maneuver. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Post your comments down in the section below. What is your favorite part of Lightning Rod? I mean, that's actually kind of obvious. It's easily the quad down, at least for most of you guys. And I think that is for all you guys. I'm one of the only people out there who actually thinks this is the best part of the ride. But, of course, the quad down is amazing. So don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, Coaster fans, I will see you later.